Hello folks, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. So glad to have you here today. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. It's such an honor to have you here. And for those of you who are returning, also welcome. Thank you for your continued support, truly appreciated. So today I thought we would do a timeless message. Now, even though this is a timeless message, it is being recorded on the last full moon of December 2019. And we also have a portal that's opening up today. So there's a ton of extra beautiful energy that's around. But I thought we would do this timeless message today to you, and what we will be working on or getting messages in and around is, what is your gift to the world? So we're going to be opening up to our angels and our spirit guides and getting those messages of hope and hopefully a little bit of clarity. I know sometimes when we go about our day-to-day business, we kind of forget that we're here for a reason, and it's not just to pay bills and and just to go to work and do all of that stuff. It's, we have a purpose here, and it's really good sometimes to remind ourselves of that purpose and the fact that we have unique talents to bring to the world. So I thought that's what we'll concentrate on today. So again, timeless reading about what it is, what your gifts are to the world. So as always, I'm trying to make these general readings, because they are general, a little bit more specific for you. So I'm going to be using the charms again, and hopefully we can get some specific messages for you folks out there. So see if any of those messages with the charms resonate with you specifically. So as always, please, let's just ground into our energy and take your time to figure out let's put this a little bit aside, which pile is resonating with you. And go ahead, if you need to, as always, pause the video, and the timestamps will be down below so you can go straight to your pile and find out what your gift is to the world. How amazing. So for the first pile, we have our clear quartz crystal, our amethyst, and I had to use the moonstone today because it's a beautiful full moon. So that's pile 3. So whichever stone, whichever crystal is calling to you, that's the one for you. So let's go ahead and move these aside for now. So pile 1, if you chose the clear crystal, again, this is a timeless message. We are asking for messages of hope and light, and to answer the specific question, what is your gift to the world? What is your purpose? Why are you here? Well, what is your gift to the world? That's specifically what we're doing. And then we're going to do some charms later to give you some extra messages. So yin and yang, wonderful. Action, moon cycles, and this is Angel Haniel. This is interesting. You have the moon reversed with Diana, and then you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is reversed. So the first message I'm getting for you, pile 1, and this is usually how it works, but, for you it definitely is. In order for you to be of service for the world, you first must have gone through this yourself, so you can connect with others in the same way, and they will feel connected to you. So this is something that you've been working through your entire life, but this is actually your gift to the world. So I feel your gift to the world is balance, and working that into the fabric of society, which is a very specific way. That's the message that I got. So let's break it down. So balance, but in a very specific way. I feel as though your gift to the world is shining self-worth and moving out of the status quo and doing things on your own terms, which means a connection to both the masculine and feminine in a very balanced way. And again, this is balance for you. So your gift to the world is shining balance into the world. So there's several different ways you're doing this. You're releasing anger from the divine masculine and divine feminine in order to become whole and then shine that. Again, sometimes I get this shining as a beacon, a lighthouse. So I definitely see you as a lighthouse. It's also a connection to, so what I'm getting is that you are a beacon of hope and a light in this world for balance. But we've come into this lifetime so there's a rise of the divine feminine, but in a completely different way in this lifetime, and moving into 5D, which we already have done. And a respect for the wisdom of the feminine, which is something that we have not had in centuries. But the rise of the feminine and the way in which they're being respected is completely different than ever before. And then in order to do that, there's a rise of the support of the divine masculine, which never happened before. So there's been, in the last couple of centuries, and throughout history, there's been a split between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And there has been a rise of power and the patriarchy and all of this. So in this lifetime, the rise of the divine feminine, it is rising, they are rising, and this has nothing to do with gender. This is just several different ideologies of divine feminine are coming up in this lifetime and healing for the first time, and healing bloodlines all the way back. Now, your gift to the world is being part of this rise of the divine feminine. And the rise of the divine feminine can only happen with a forgiveness and a beauty and a support for the divine masculine, which has never really happened because they've been divided before previously. So your gift to the world is showing the world balance and shining a new light in a new way. You are part of this, and I don't want to say system, because the divine feminine, the divine masculine especially the divine feminine in the past, has been part of a system, which is the patriarchy, and they have been sort of shoved aside because of the patriarchy. So I don't want to use the word system, but you are a part of a movement, let's say. You are a part of a movement in this lifetime to shine the light and to heal the divine feminine and the divine masculine, which is what we're doing. Now, this happens on many different levels. It happens obviously on the personal level first. So this is something that you've done divinely in your own life, but it's also happening not just the collective, but it goes on to the global and then beyond. So we are in a new era here for the first time, and you've incarnated down in this lifetime. So you have the action card here. So you're definitely out in this lifetime to shine your light and be definitely a gift of God. Now, how you perceive goddess to be, goddess, traditional Christian God, or the universe, it really doesn't matter, because the essence of God goes beyond all of that. And that's what you are here to do. You are definitely here to, your gift to the world is to encompass the Christ-like understanding of self and go beyond the being of just being human, and to shine that into the world. Now, that's not a small thing, obviously. That's not a small thing, but you incarnated into this lifetime in order to be able to do this. This is many, many lifetimes you've incarnated and been working on to be able to do this. Now, in this lifetime, we are able to do this because we had to come back in a lifetime that would create this collective consciousness to be able to hold this kind of power. And you're definitely here to not just shine your light, but again, to weave the essence of this throughout the fabric of society. You have the action card. Now you have the moon cycles here. So you're connecting again to the divine feminine. But I want to be really clear. It's introducing the wisdom of the divine feminine from the past, but this is brand new beginnings for the divine feminine. The divine feminine is moving and balancing and being able to integrate into the fabric of the world in a completely different way than it ever has before. And again, I do want to make this clear, that has nothing to do with gender whatsoever. So for those of you who are who have chosen pile 1 and are feeling a little overwhelmed right now and saying, oh my goodness, this is a lot. Remember, you have had many incarnations in order to be able to to rise in this lifetime. So your action card here is to rise and to be able to put this energy out into the world and to shine it. Now, the action that you'll be doing really is the action of shining the divine feminine, again, in brand new ways. And the way in which you'll be doing it specifically in this lifetime is you'll be bringing up how your journey enabled you to embrace this energy. And by doing that, you'll be helping others to embrace their personal past, release the old, and move into the brand new. So you're working outside of systems here. You're working outside of the essence of the patriarchy, the essence of injustice. Again, you know, I've said in other readings, I do want to be really clear. It's not that you're accepting the injustice that has happened that's happened to the divine feminine and across the board to marginalized peoples. In fact, in many ways, what you will be doing is you will be moving through this energy and neutralizing it in the way that you can do on your own terms, by understanding and holding space and support for others in this lifetime who have been through this. So let's see, charms, if there's any specific messages here that we can give you. All right, so we got a few things here. Oh, I love Ganesh. So, yeah, okay, so we have the feather here. They're really tiny. I don't know if you can see these. Have the feather, we have Ganesh. So, yeah, we have the hand here, which is graciousness, which is humility. You're here to work beyond the ego. Everybody was born with an ego unless you were already born into an enlightened state. And even though you've done some incredible things, Pal One, you're moving into that. So you're working beyond the ego and moving forward. This is your sign definitely of action. But because what I'm feeling here with the two wheels is that you're moving to be able to bring others with you. The graciousness of the hand here, to be able to hold space and support, like we said, for others. You're definitely working for a higher purpose with Ganesh. And also, you know, I don't like to use this word tribe because I feel like it's appropriating, even though it's my husband's native, I'm not. But so we're going to use the word, but I keep getting the word tribe, and I wouldn't use this word myself, but I'm channeling messages. So, you know, you're here to be part of a tribe, and this is also healing bloodlines from your past, specific bloodlines, which has enabled you to move forward. You're not doing this work alone. Not only are you doing this mystical work from Ganesh and from others, specific spirit guides, you are doing this work with bloodlines, blood relations, and you're healing all of that and moving forward. It's really beautiful work, Pal One. But you have your own specific tribe here on this earth, like earth angels, like you, star seeds who are coming in who will support this work. You're just moving into it too. And also, you have this crown. I love it. You are definitely here to be a leader. And we can say that with all certainty because you are moving beyond the ego. So this isn't about like, oh, look at me, this is what I'm doing. But you're definitely here to be a leader. For some of you, and again, this is a general reading, so take what you will and leave what doesn't resonate. But for some of you, I definitely see you talking, you know, TED Talks, other, you know, getting out there and helping people and being wisdom, a source of light for others. So for this, I'm getting sacred geometry, which I've been getting for the last couple of days, but also the circle of light. Again, coming back to your own journey, you've had to go through the darkness, balance the darkness and light. That can only be balanced in oneself when you have the courage to go in and work on your own darkness and be able to bring it out and heal it. You'll be able to show this and show others how to do this. Now, we don't want to go into too much about your own personal journey because there's so many other messages that I have and other readings that I've done about this. This is specifically about what you're here to do. What is your gift to the world? But your gift to the world is to be a shining example of how it is that one can move from the human aspect of self, of being, and moving into beyond the ego and being a beacon of light. And and showing the balance between light and dark, between masculine and feminine, and supporting the feminine, divine feminine in this way. And when I say again, supporting the divine feminine means supporting the divine masculine in a brand new way so that we can grow together. So this is a really... obviously this is not a small task, and again, for any of you power oneers who are out there feeling a little confused or overwhelmed, remember you've come in from many past lives with this wisdom to be able to do this. And for those of you who have already felt this calling, this is just a reminder of what it is that you are definitely supposed to do in this lifetime. So this is absolutely wonderful, absolutely beautiful. I'm really excited for you, Pile 1. I can't wait for you to get out there and show us what you've got. So if this resonated with you, please do leave me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. I always love to hear from you guys. And I'm really excited about your journey, Pile 1. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, Pile 2, this is you. For those of you who chose the amethyst, again, this is a timeless reading. I know that we are doing this reading on the full moon, the last full moon of December 2019. So we do have a little extra power, I think, around this reading, but this is a timeless reading. Whenever you find it, this is absolutely your messages. So we are looking for messages of hope and light. What is your gift to the world? And as always, I'm always trying to make these a little bit more specific for you rather than just general readings. So we will be using the charms to give you some extra information. So let's just dive in. Rainbow Reviver. Love that. Nourishment. Angel Therapy. Well, you can't go wrong with Angel Raphael. We have the 5 of Cups. And then we have the 6 of Cups. This is the Goddess Tarot here. I love this. So the first message that I'm getting here is that, and again with Pile 1, usually what happens, and this is definitely happening for you, your gift from God or from the heavens, or your gift to the world, and again, how you ever see the heavens or God is up to you, the universe, God in itself, infinite being, or the goddess, however, that's totally up to you and up for interpretation. But in order for you to shine your light and be a gift, usually what happens is that you've gone through this, all of this essence, or you've gone through this your whole life in order to teach people what it is that they can do to reach the level that you're at. So this is what happened for Pile 1, and this is what's happening for you, Pile 2. So the first message that I'm getting is that one of your predestined abilities is to revive from the past, and to do that in a very specific way. You are here to teach those. Your gift to the world is to teach those to come back into one's energy and to put one's energy first and work without or beyond the ego. So you are connecting to source in your own way, on your own terms. You are learning to switch your perspective from the negative and taking in there's a lot of stuff that's going on. So I'm getting a lot of messages and it's a little bit confusing, and that's the message, which is kind of beautiful, Pile 2. So your gift to the world is to shed confusion for the systems of being human, and how to rise up in the spiritual sense of the word on your own terms by cleansing your past, putting your energy first, and teaching others self-love and self-worth by putting your energy first. So specifically what I'm seeing is that you are manifesting. So some of you might even be manifesting coaches or teaching people how to manifest. But specifically how you're able to do that is you're being able to differentiate between other people's energies and your energies by nourishing system, putting yourself first, understanding, and I keep getting this cube, putting yourself in a cube. So there is an essence of isolation that you've gone through in either to excuse me, in order to differentiate between other people's energies. That's where I start and they begin. So I feel like for some of you, and this is not a reading about how you've gotten here, I want to concentrate on what you're here to do. But there's a little bit of an essence here because you've gone through a system of figuring out how your energy works, how to put yourself first, your idea of self-identity. So in order to be able to do that, you put yourself in a bit of a cube, and there were different sides of the cube, different parts of the puzzle that you needed to put together to figure out how you interacted with other people's energy without taking it on, without taking on other people's projections. So what you've done and what you're going to do in this lifetime is be, again, a beacon of hope, but I love this card, Six of Cups. You are bringing in the energies of different people and teaching them or standing tall in the knowledge of what you have. And by doing that, what you do is actually you give them a system of support of being themselves completely and totally and taking in every single aspect of self. So what you're here to do is to completely and totally embrace self-acceptance. So I see you as a beacon of light for other people who have, perhaps been marginalized in very specific ways, and you being part of the community to actually stand tall and say, oh, this is beautiful. This is coming from the heart chakra. This is who you are without any apologies whatsoever. Now, I feel as though in order for you to be able to have been able to do this, you had to go through, let's just say, quote unquote, hell yourself. You had to learn to cleanse your past and the opinions of others. So whatever it is, the opinions of others have affected you as you grew up. And I feel as though for many of you, and again, this is a general reading, take what you will, but for many of you, they had a head start in telling you that you weren't going to do very well, or because of who you were, you weren't correct, or you weren't right, or you weren't good enough. And I feel as though what you're going to do is, what you've done already is that you've shed that, and you've shed that through your own community, through your own understanding of who you are. And that's not been easy for you. And in some ways you felt as though you were alone doing that. And in some ways you were able to sort of go into a community and have a certain amount of help and support. But by no means, let's be honest here, you definitely did a lot of this work on your own. But when you come into this energy of being able to help others, you will be part of a system, of a community, by giving people space to be able to do whatever they want to do. And part of that is complete and total self-acceptance. That's what you're here to do. And shine that self-acceptance and be a support and beacon of hope for others. Putting yourself first, nourishment. It's also, I feel as though there's been an intense amount of projection upon you your entire life and who you are and what you stand for. And this is something that you've had to let go. And this is something that you've wanted to let go. But in some ways, the projections of others, society has supported the projections of others. So this is not a small task of what you've done. You may be working in, for instance, HIV or AIDS communities. You could be working with the poor. There is an essence of service here, but there's a real strong servitude, but there's a really strong essence of pride. I keep getting the word pride. You've earned this, but pride in all sense of the word, in every sense of the word. The word pride keeps coming up. Rainbows keep coming up. I mean, I know they're here, Rainbow Reviver, but you being in the center of this rainbow and being proud of exactly who you are. And I think that the justice of this too, working outside of the systems of government and being who you are. But your complete message is self-acceptance and shining that self-acceptance. And this is not a small thing for you, shining that self-acceptance. You've been through hell in order to get there, but you're going to be a light and a beacon of support for others. You're going to do that by giving them space to be themselves. And that is what you've been doing. And this is not a small thing. This is not a small thing. I do see you again working with communities, specifically that speak to you. Let's see what definitely working with the heart chakra here. Oh my goodness. Hello. This is heartfelt. I mean, this is This is a beautiful thing. I'm getting really teary-eyed here. This is heart chakra. This is something that you've had to do. This has definitely not been easy for you. I feel as though for some of you, there's even been some kind of violence around this, but you've had to accept yourself in divine and beautiful ways. Absolutely. You do have the energy and the support of the angels, and I feel as though some of you have been told that you shouldn't even necessarily been speaking to them because they're not even, that you're not good enough to. You've been told all sorts of rubbish. And of course, that's absolute rubbish, but you had to figure that out on your own terms. So you've established your own version of reality, your own version of sense of self, your own connection to the universe and the divine. And this is something that you will keep in your heart chakra, keep for you. Every time I see these two charms that come up together, this is always action, moving forward, but you're doing this for other people. You're doing this in a community, in a society. You're doing this for others, to pave the way for others, because there's two of them. So, you have somebody here, you're going to be taking other people with you. This is important. You're doing this for others, and you're very well aware of this. I do also feel like there's a lot of fire energy. You guys have had fire energy, and unfortunately some of you may have used this energy against yourself. But let's just say, I'm feeling some kind of addiction and some other things that you've done in order to try and deal with the pain that wasn't integrated. But that fire that may have been turned inwards actually just burnt out the stuff that didn't need to be done. So any guilt that you've had about the path that you've taken in order to get where you were, you have to forgive yourself, because you did not have an easy path. You're also doing this for other people, and that fire energy that you've turned against yourself, that dragon energy, some of you might actually have. Be a little bit nerdy. I know my husband is. It's great. Dragons, love dragons and all of that stuff. You might actually have, dragon energy around you, but otherwise you might be fire sign Sagittarius, or getting some Aries energy here. But the fire that you may have used originally against yourself, it's just burnt away all the old. So don't you even worry about that. And I absolutely love this. Again, we have the heart chakra. We have the little kitty ears here. I mean, you guys are passionate. I mean, some of you may be animal rights, whatever it is, you are definitely going to be joining others to make sure that this kind of violence or this kind of injustice does not happen to others. This is a beautiful thing. You are definitely here to do that. But also you are doing this on your own terms and bringing in this, this lotus flower, which is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, there is an essence of astrology. There's an essence of occultism. There's an essence of divine here, and connecting with that energy completely on your own terms. Like I said, you may have been told that you didn't have the right to any of this, or that you couldn't connect to this, or God didn't love you, or any of that stuff that was absolute rubbish, but you may have been told this at a very tender age where you didn't realize that whoever told you that was rubbish. Perhaps you weren't told this, but you got the information. You picked up this energy from society. You have gone out of your way to make sure that this energy is burnt out of you. So you can pull in this energy and your connection on your own way. And again, you are here. Your message, your gift to the world is that you can tell others that this is rubbish, and you can show them by example how to do this. I'm definitely going to see you out there, pile two, supporting others in a really, really beautiful way, and making sure that, oh, you have this too. You have this feather. Did we see this before? So this is just an indication that you're not doing this alone. The work that you had to do this on your own. You had to do this, I keep saying, closet, behind closed doors, in the closet. You had to do this in the darkness initially. So, but you're doing this so you can be a beacon of light for others. You can show them to put yourself first, to do this, to give your cares away, and know that you are looked after, that the universe is looking after you, and you will be. There's other earth angels that are going to help you do this. This happened with Pile 1. We're not here to do this alone. So for any of you who are out there, Pile 2, and thinking, oh my goodness, this does sound right, but I don't want to do this alone. Don't worry, your soul family's coming in. If they haven't already, you're not going to do this alone. So pile 2, that's incredible. I can't wait to see you out there on the front lines. And no better person, no better people to be able to do this. Well done, pile 2. I know it's not been easy to get to where you are, where you will be, and able to be a lighthouse and beacon of hope and light for others, and to show people that beyond the ego, it's okay to be yourself, and complete and total self-acceptance. So if this resonated with you, please give me a thumbs up. Pile 2, I'd love to hear from you. Comments below. Always happy to hear from you guys, especially if this resonated with the charms and everything. Sending you love and light for everything you've been through, and giving you a little extra dragon energy there, pile 2, so you know you're not alone. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile 3, if you chose the Moonstone, this is for you. Again, this is timeless messages. We are asking for messages of hope and love and light, and specifics about what is your gift to the world in this lifetime. We have extra charms here that we're going to be using to hopefully give you some extra support and messages beyond what the cards can give us. So let's just get right into it. Okay, self-respect. Creation, beautiful. Gentleness. I also got tenderness with this. Archangel Sandalphon. I think that's how you say. King of Staves, and then Ace of Swords reversed. So there's a little bit of overlapping energy between all of these piles, but they're also intensely different. The energy of this of you guys in pile, let's put this over here, pile 3 is completely different from pile 1 and pile 2, but it's all, you're all here. You're either star seeds or, you know, earth angels, or it really doesn't matter where it is in the galaxy that you've come from, but you are all here to be able to be a beacon of light for others. And that's what you all have as a thread from pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. So your specific thing is to first of all, is to bring your own version of the truth to the world. Now, this is going to happen on several different layers. Now, this is not a reading about how you've gotten here, but in order to be who you are, and in order to be who you are and be able to be a beacon of hope for others, of course, you would have had to have gone through these system of beliefs and shed whatever you needed to shed in order to encompass the energy that you needed to in order to change the world on your own terms. So there's a certain amount of delivering that you did on your own terms. There's a certain that you have your own story that you have in order to become who you are in this lifetime. And that is going back to bringing in karma, going through essence of karma, integrating seeds of wisdom that you came in this lifetime, that you maybe didn't have the space or the freedom initially to be able to sort of sow the way that you wanted to, and now you're able to, but you are able to sow those seeds of wisdom in this lifetime, pile 3. But the main thing that you are here to do in this lifetime is to bring your truth to the world. Now, everybody has their own version of truth. So let's be really clear about what we're talking about. You're here to bring a version of the actual truth to the world. And when we talk about actual truth, it's about communicating with extreme power, but not from the ego. It's about, I feel as though from the King of Staves, we've talked about, especially in pile 1, you might want to go back to pile 1. This is pile 3, you're definitely in the right place. But pile 1 talked about the essence of balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine. I feel for you, part of what you're doing in this lifetime is learning how to reestablish power and communicate from balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine. But you're actually here to communicate truth. How you've gotten to that point is that you've had to reestablish your version of the divine masculine on your own terms. Now, I feel as though that's not been easy. You've had to give not only self-respect to yourself, but self-respect to people that you didn't necessarily believe in and did not necessarily respect when you first came into this lifetime. I feel as though you've had to create your own version of the world outside of the systems of government, outside of society, and you had to I feel as though the word patriarchy keeps coming up. I feel as though you had to establish your own resonance, your own connection, a new connection with the patriarchy, or the version of the masculine in this lifetime, and turn it into a ball of light so it becomes the divine masculine. So you would definitely, I feel as though, bought into a masculine world. I feel very masculine, which unfortunately it's not always great, even for males. But this has got nothing to do with gender. You were brought up in a very sort of masculating world, in a world that was emasculated. So there was an overcompensation on the essence of masculine. Now, this could have been in a very specific way that you brought up with very masculine energy that wasn't balanced with the divine feminine, didn't have a lot of respect for females. But again, we're not going into the past necessarily, but you've had to redefine and reconnect with your own sense of masculine, balance that out with your own sense of self-respect, and then come to the conclusion that the masculine essence of life did not know better, and they used the power that they had. Now, they did abuse that power, and you know that. You could have been on the other end of the abuse of that power, and you're not happy about that. But what you've been able to do, and I want to be really specific here, when I say that you've forgiven the masculine, it doesn't mean to say that everything you've been through and everything that you've witnessed and seen and everything that you've had to put up with them was okay. That's not what I'm saying. And in fact, what you're going to be able to do in this lifetime is to shift and change that, because you've forgiven the masculine in the sense, and then moved into the sense of the respect for the divine masculine, which is not something you were brought up with. Again, let's be clear. You were brought up with the idea of masculine, the idea of overcompensation, the idea of pursuit of power, the patriarchy. That is not the divine masculine. You're here to actually bring in the essence of the divine masculine, and work within the idea, the understanding of the divine masculine, which means that you are creating your own world around what the divine masculine actually is, and bringing that truth that we have not had in this lifetime for many, many lifetimes. We've had the masculine, and we've had that ideology literally shoved down our throats. But what we have not had is the divine masculine, which is now rising up with the divine feminine that's coming in. So again, we touched on this a little bit in pile 1. If you're feeling like you want a little extra clarity on this aspect of self, then feel free, of course, to go in and listen to pile 1. But the messages for you are specifically in pile 3. You are here to bring in your own version of truth. You have had to do this, first of all, maybe walking on eggshells because you couldn't offend anybody. What you have realized is that the divine masculine can take a lot, but the masculine the ego of the masculine is very easily shattered. So what you've had to do is walk that line of learning and creating your own way of being by shattering your version and how you were brought into the masculine, and serving and moving into the essence of the divine masculine, and then serving the world from the essence of the divine masculine. So you created your own world. You've created your own sense of truth, which is a universal truth that you will be bringing into this world. Divine. Yeah, divine. You are an essence of the divine masculine. Again, I want to be really clear. This has got nothing to do with gender. It's how you are figuring out, and how you are integrating your own power and your own sense of truth in this lifetime. So you will be very powerful in this lifetime, and you will be speaking in many ways to the masculine, but with interjecting the idea of the divine masculine. So I don't know if you'll be working with men, specifically gender of men, or men obviously who are gender or identify as male, or in certain communities where people, I don't know, I'm just going to say it. I mean, I keep getting working with either gangs or marginalized communities who have had this, this idea of masculine and creating power for themselves, a limited version of being, and recreating this version of the divine masculine and walking out of that sense of quote unquote power that has really just been, sort of shoved down our throat from the patriarchy, grabbing what you can, and hurting anybody that comes into your way. I feel as though your essence of truth, and in some ways, will be recreating that understanding of the masculine sense of power and bringing that truth to a new version of the divine masculine and integrating that into our system, our world. For some reason, I keep getting creation here, working within the prison system, all sorts of things. I don't know how you would be doing that. I'm just literally telling you what I'm seeing. And also redefining in marginalized group, but redefining in groups and for others, the self-respect that doesn't come from the aspect of the masculine sense of power, coming from the divine sense of the divine masculine, which is all encapsulating and includes an sense of power and respecting females and the divine feminine. So I feel as though the self-respect that you've come from versions of that, and being able to be a beacon of light and hope, and showing others how to come from the masculine sense of power to the divine masculine. And part of that is forgiving yourself and what you've been through, and how you've been part of the system of the power of society, of the masculine, and also holding power for yourself in a way that cannot be taken from you, that you don't have to defend anymore, that you just stand in this power. Incredible truth, universal truth, creating your own version and helping others create versions for themselves too, that includes the divine masculine and the support of the divine feminine, without using that power that again can be taken and has been taken. I keep seeing people behind bars, human beings behind bars, and helping. And when I say human beings, I saw people in pile 2 working not specifically, but with animals. But I do feel for you, it would be behind bars, could work with animals and helping to protect animals. But for you, I think your focus will mainly be human beings and human souls that are coming in, that are in pain, teaching them that they are beautiful, that they are worthy of giving themselves the space to move into the essence of the divine masculine, and moving away from the pain and the violence of the masculine, which is, again, part of a system that they're really never going to win. So teaching them how to win on their own terms. So let's give you, that's very specific. Let's see it. This is already quite specific, but I want to give you some charms and see if there's extra. All right. Oh, wow. Paris. How interesting. So what I'm getting here for Paris, I'm actually getting a tower. So I'm actually getting a tower. So yeah, helping marginalized folks, but a tower. For some reason, I keep getting fairy tales. The idea that, you're going to be bringing truth to those who have been told that if you live this life, you're going to get the rewards, but actually you're not. They're rewards that can be taken. I feel as though you are going to bring truth and light to people and say, these are real rewards. Being a real man, but part of the divine masculine, which is a real man, you're going to bring the truth and light to these beautiful human beings that need it. Yeah, there's a complete system here, a complete circle, of going round and really dealing with. So there's definitely some societal stuff that you will be shining light on that's been going on for generations. And I feel as though you'll definitely you're here to heal bloodlines. The truth, I don't know if you knew or if you were aware that that's what you were doing too, but by doing the work that you do, you're not just helping those in this, like human beings, these beautiful human beings in this lifetime, but you're healing your own generations, you're healing our generations, you're healing bloodlines, which is truly beautiful. I feel as though you're definitely going to be this to me is like a spider web. You're definitely going to be helping people who are caught in a web of lies, caught in, like I said, they've been, this is just reiterating, they've been told certain things. If you do this, if you get a gun, if you do this, you can have the power, you can protect this, you can protect that, and you're gonna shine the truth on them and say real protection comes from the inside of knowing, of not, of learning who you are and being able to shine that light, and giving space to people to become their greatest version of self, but with the truth. I do feel as though this is something that you will definitely be doing on your own terms. And again, this is dragon energy that came in. This is fire energy. You could be Sagittarius. Again, I'm seeing like Aries here, but this is also fire energy. You're very pumped up about this. You're very passionate about this. You're going to be very good at this. You're going to be able to go into communities and people will be speaking to you. I don't doubt that you've been through your own stuff. You can say, hey, I'm reformed. I've done this. If I can do it, you can do it. You'll be taking this message very much to communities who will be willing to listen. I actually see you talking, definitely. I do see you talking in the prison system and having something to do with prison reform and working with former prisoners. But I also feel that you'll be working in the school system. You'll be working in schools. You'll be going in there, and again, you'll be bringing your truth. But you won't just be working with the masculine. And if you are working with masculine sense of self, which would be the masculine energy, and I would say in this case, gender, your truth will be shining light absolutely everywhere. And again, healing bloodlines, and healing everything. All the way back, integrating that wisdom, those seeds of, I keep saying seeds of desire. So it means that future bloodlines will understand this version of truth and be able to sort of relax, sigh, relax into who they are instead of having to constantly be forced to prove themselves. And this also with the moonstone, I'm getting, your own connection with the divine feminine coming in with the divine masculine, giving space for the divine feminine. By stepping up in this way, you will actually be supporting the divine feminine by proxy in a way, and be able to teach the new generation that's coming in how to do this. And you're here that truth will bring peace and integrate peace into this land in a way that we've just not had in generations. Pile 3, this is incredible work. This is incredible work. And this could mean travel too. I did see it initially as a tower and moving forward and working with people who have been put in a tower and taking them out of the tower. But I definitely see you taking this message on the road. So this absolutely could be going abroad and doing this in Europe too. This is not a stationary position of what you'll be doing. You'll definitely be. I also see that your words will be out there. You'll be talking, but writing books. I mean, there's lots of different ways. Some of you will be painters and putting that on painting, but you'll be inspiring and integrating that sense of truth. And healing too, creating, but remembering, be gentle, be soft with yourself, respect what you've been through, respect your path. Whatever you did back then, you did not knowing. You cannot beat yourself up for going back and looking back on your life and saying, well, I did not know that then. You can't beat yourself up for it. Be gentle with yourself. You'll be bringing that message too for those, no guilt, move beyond the guilt. Turn that essence of guilt and shame into that fiery passion that we had here with the dragon, and make sure that others get this message. That's how you can do that. You'll be bringing that essence of truth. This will be part of your message. So pile 3, not a small thing that you'll be doing, but you know what? You've got that energy. You've got that action. You've got that fire. I have no doubt that if this resonates with you, you're like, yeah, I'm ready. I can do this. So pile 3, if this resonated with you, very specific messages here. Do give me a thumbs up. Do let me know in the comments below. It's always an honor to read for you guys, and I am absolutely in awe of everything and everyone today, all the general messages that we got for you today. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Sending love and light, and until we meet again, bye-bye.